On this Christmas Day 2025, while the world celebrates or reflects, something profound is stirring beneath the surface in Israel. It's not the kind of shift that makes immediate headlines, no dramatic election, no sudden war declaration. It's quieter, deeper, and more tectonic, a gradual unraveling of old certainties, coupled with the faint outlines of new possibilities. The post-October 7 era, marked by endless conflict and political paralysis, is giving way to a fragile post-war reality. Ceasefires are holding, military victories have been claimed, but the costs, social, economic, democratic, are coming due. And in the shadows, Israeli society is beginning to reckon with it all. Most people haven't noticed yet. They're exhausted from 2 years of war, reservist call-ups and division, but the ground is moving. Let's trace how we got here and why this moment feels like a turning point that's flying under the radar. The wars that reshaped everything and ended. For over 2 years, Israel fought on multiple fronts: Gaza against Hamas, Lebanon against Hezbollah, direct exchanges with Iran, and simmering violence in the West Bank. The October 7, 2023 massacre, 1,200 killed, hundreds taken hostage, shattered the illusion of invincibility. It led to a war that ballooned military spending to 8% of GDP in 2024, displaced communities, and strained every institution. But 2025 brought unexpected resolutions. A January ceasefire with Hamas collapsed, but U.S. President Trump's interventions imposed fragile truces, one with Hamas in early 2025, another with Iran after a brief but intense June exchange.
By late September, a broader Gaza ceasefire took hold, with phased hostage releases and IDF withdrawals to a yellow line controlling about half the strip. Humanitarian aid flows again, 600 trucks daily, and intense fighting has paused. These aren't permanent peace deals. Hamas remains in parts of Gaza, Iran licks its wounds, and West Bank violence persists. But the shift is real. Israel's focus is pivoting from survival mode warfare to internal reckoning. As one economist analysis put it in November, if these ceasefires hold into 2026, Israel finally gets a period in which it can deal with its internal affairs. People don't see it yet because the trauma lingers. Polls show trust in institutions at historic lows, emigration fears high, and polarization extreme. But the absence of daily sirens and rocket alerts is creating space for reflection, protest, and potential change. The political cracks widening into fissures. Benjamin Netanyahu's government, a coalition of Likud and far-right parties, has clung to power through the wars. But 2025 exposed its fragility. Far-right ministers like Itamar Ben-Gvir resigned over ceasefires, then rejoined. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich threatens collapse over any concessions. Yet beneath the noise, public sentiment is shifting. The Israel Democracy Index 2025 paints a complex picture. Optimism in some areas, but deep pessimism in others. Nearly half the public wants to dismantle all political institutions and start over. Trust in government is abysmal, especially on the left and center. Protests, once focused on hostages, have morphed into broader anti-government rallies. In December, thousands marched against Netanyahu's alleged pardon-seeking in his corruption trial, demands for a state inquiry into October 7 failures, and Haredi draft exemptions. Bereaved families and pro-democracy activists lead the charge. New parties are emerging, led by figures like Naftali Bennett or Benny Gantz, hinting at a volatile 2026 election landscape. The far-right's influence, pushing settlement expansion and illiberal reforms, has alienated the center. Women's rights advocates warn of a sharp decline, with Israel's gender equality ranking plummeting globally. Arab Israelis, long cowed, are rediscovering voices. Even the right-wing bloc is fragmenting. This isn't revolution, yet, but it's erosion. Netanyahu's Mr. Security image is tarnished. Military victories didn't translate to political solutions. As Carnegie Endowment Analysis notes, neither the hawkish nor dovish camps offer realistic paths forward. a hidden center, organizations pushing shared society amid ideological divides, is gaining traction quietly. Economic rebound masking deeper vulnerabilities. The economy tells a similar story of resilience and risk. War costs were immense. Deficits spiked, growth slowed to 1% in 2024. But Q3 2025 saw a sharp 12.4% rebound post-Iran truce, with OECD forecasting stronger than expected growth in 2026 as military spending contracts. Tech remains vibrant, exports recover. Yet warnings abound. High cost of living, socioeconomic gaps, dependence on aid. Netanyahu announced a $110 billion decade-long investment in domestic arms production, reducing foreign reliance amid embargo threats. The shift? From war economy to normalization. Private sector leads recovery, but fiscal responsibility is key. If ceasefires hold, growth could surge. If not, collapse. The international isolation and glimmers of realignment. Israel's global standing hit lows. UN votes highlight deepening isolation, arms restrictions from allies, criticism over Gaza and West Bank actions. Trump's support provided cover, but even he pushed ceasefires. Normalization with Saudi Arabia? Stalled. Riyadh insists on Palestinian progress, far-right Israeli ministers balk. No mega-deal yet. But quietly, deeper ties with Greece, Cyprus, India co-developing weapons. A periphery strategy 2.0 against threats like Turkey. Why this feels like the unseen shift. The wars paused, but didn't resolve core issues. Palestinian governance, two-state viability, internal cohesion. Society is polarized. Left sees existential democratic threat, right sees security imperatives. Yet 2025 ceasefires created breathing room. Protests refocus domestically. Polls show fatigue with extremism. New leaders eye comebacks. Economy rebounds if peace holds. People don't see it yet because change is incremental. No single event screams turning point. But add it up. Fragile calm abroad, mounting pressure at home, demographic economic forces pushing moderation. Israel isn't collapsing, it's adapting, painfully. The old paradigm is cracking. A new one, reckoning with failures, rebuilding institutions, perhaps pragmatic diplomacy, may emerge. But risks loom. Renewed war, coalition collapse, far-right entrenchment. The call: wake up and shape it. Israelis and friends worldwide can't afford complacency. Demand the October 7 inquiry. Push for equal burden sharing. Bridge divides, Jewish-Arab, secular-religious, left-right. Support voices building a shared, democratic, secure Israel. Invest in independence, military, economic. The shift is happening, quietly, subtly. But if harnessed, it could redefine Israel's next chapter. Stronger, more unified, at peace with itself and neighbors. Don't wait for the headlines. Act now. The turning point is here.